Friends, Renault has officially lost their minds. And you know what? I'm all for it. They're actually putting this electric insanity, the 5-Turbo 3E, into production. Remember back in 2024 when they showed the concept, and everyone thought, oh, cool, but this is just for fun. No one will actually make it? Well, someone at Renault clearly didn't get the joke. But before we dive into what kind of madness this is, don't forget to subscribe to Technomaniacs. We test the weirdest cars, love fast machines, and laugh at whatever automakers come up with. So hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, you'll miss the moment Renault decides to put a jet engine on a scooter. Now let's get to it. This is kind of a Renault 5, but only if the Renault 5 took steroids and binge-watched every Fast and Furious movie. 2 doors, 2 seats, rear-wheel drive, and fender flares so wide, it looks like a race car that decided life already has too many compromises. And now, the power, 536 horsepower. This is an electric hot hatch that's more powerful than a Ferrari 458 Italia. And the torque, 3,540 pound-feet. Of course, that's at the wheels, not the motor. But even if you divide by 10, it's still enough to mistake a corner for a launch pad. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour? 3 seconds. Top speed? 270 kilometers per hour. To put it simply, this is officially the fastest Renault 5 in history. And it even has a decent range, 400 kilometers on a single charge. Of course, that's if you don't floor it all the time. But we both know no one's going to do that. It weighs 1,450 kilograms, about the same as a regular Renault 5 with a 52 kilowatt-hour battery. Why so light? Because they threw out everything unnecessary. Rear seats, a normal interior, and the soul of the engineer who tried to make it comfortable. Instead, you get racing buckets, 6-point harnesses, a roll cage, and enough Alcantara to pretend there's comfort. But the best part? The 800-volt architecture. That means charging from 15% to 80% takes just 15 minutes. That's faster than me choosing a movie to watch. For comparison, a regular Renault 5 charges at 100 kilowatt, basically like a snail taking a smoke break. And now, the funniest part. Renault is only making 1,980 units. Why? Because the original 5-Turbo came out in 1980, and the French love these little tributes. The car will be sold in Europe, the Middle East, Japan, and Australia. The US? Sorry guys, you only get the pain of knowing you can't buy one. How much does this toy cost? Well, let's put it this way. If you have to ask, you probably can't afford it, but expect a 6-figure price tag in dollars or euros. Renault hasn't given an exact number, but it's definitely more expensive than the sanity of someone buying an electric car for drifting. So, friends, if you want more crazy cars like this, subscribe to Technomaniacs. In the meantime, I'll go figure out how to convince the bank to give me a loan for a Renault that goes brrrr instead of the usual vroom.